who provides you for your life here and to create your life here and to sustain your life here, who provides you, and where from do you think the provisions are coming? Are the provisions we get from the earth or from the nature around or from the skies or from all of these things to feed our five different organs, to feed our skin, to feed our taste, to feed our smell, to feed our ears, and to feed our eyes. Who gives you the sustenance? All the five senses must be fed. We know we are seeing and hearing, and we are touching, and we inhale the scent and the life sustenance, the air we breathe. What is the sustenance we breathe? What is the sustenance we receive through the eyes and ears? And through the mouth, of course, we know. And by touch, of course, we know the comforting touch. So, except for the food and touch, we don't see the rest of the things. Even to be more practical, only food is what we know. And what we do not know is the eye, the ear, the nose, the touch. We do not see actually what exactly that feeds me. Only when I eat, I think I am being fed. By seeing things, I don't think I am fed. By seeing a lovely nature around me, full of green and luxury life all around me, I don't feel I am being fed. But that's very important to soothe my nature, to soothe my heart, to give me my comfort to the brain and the mind, and to think in the manner that is most far reaching for our senses to consume and prepare us towards an unseen future by making us think aloft. So, when I see things around me, they have the life sustenance. Allah is saying life sustenance. The soothing nature, the comforting nature around me, how it is embracing me from all around. A comfortable wind, a beautiful and scented, lovely, aromatic breeze that goes past me, just hugs me and goes past. Likewise, things of the nature are always on the move like a cloud moving above our skies. So when I see about these clouds moving, it gives me some sensation of well-being in me, some sensation of comfort, some sensation, a nice feeling. Everything is sustaining my life, giving input to my beautiful, comfortable feel, a quiet feel without a nasty, noisy, chaotic atmosphere surrounding the earth because of the people around. So every single creation to the five senses is a combination that I am bringing in. I want all my senses to be sustained by the Creator. I want your touch, the entire surrounding should embrace me, hug me, to go past me, and a new breeze and a new feel must always go past me, and never again, whatever I have tasted should come back to me again. Because I want to live alive forever with a different source and with a different atmosphere and a different comfort. Never shall we have the same comfort what we have tasted before. That is the sustenance Allah sent from the heavens and produces from the earth and everything in between that surrounding me, comforting all my five organs and five senses. When I am inside, when you're all inside our mother's womb, that comfort is different. That comfort is again from the surrounding nature, the coolness of the nature, the fragrance of the nature, the aroma, and the aura of the nature that is imbibed straight away by the growing child, growing fetus inside the womb. That sense gives a different feeling to the mother. It is not that from mother the food is going to the child. When she is carrying a child, a fetus, it is not that the mother's food goes to the fetus to nourish it. It is the fetal grasping energy from the entire atmosphere and cosmos from heaven to earth. It has the capacity to absorb the lively nature, the life nature into its home. That gives your life so life force to the bearing a mother. So that gives in 4 to 5 months, the mother has a bloom and the face is so polished and they have certain amount of energy and the plumpiness of the shape of the mother is entirely different with all lakshanas in it. That is the splendidness of God's creation. Anything new that is imbibed into our nature gives you the life energy for the entire future. If we don't nurture that habit, our life is becoming stagnant. That life is unwanted. Like a new growth inside the womb is not fed by the mother. If you think that the mother's food is going to the fetus inside the womb, a new growing child inside the womb, then the mother's blood should carry the food to the uterine blood. The uterine blood is different, the mother's blood is different. The entire world that the uterus has is different source for the fetus. Is different life source for the fetus. Entirely different. This you must understand. Because the mother's blood is carrying the food. If the mother's blood is carrying the food, then it has to enter the fetal blood and then it is nourishing the fetus inside. It is not to be so. Fetal blood is different group, mother's blood is different group. When the child is born, we test the blood of the fetus, that fetal child's blood is different group and mother's blood is different group. If these two groups are different, when they mingle, definitely the fetus will die. There will be severe reaction, it will be aborted, and it will be life-threatening both to the mother and to the growing child. So the fetal blood and mother's blood cannot join, cannot mix. It is incompatible. We cannot take blood from somebody else unless the blood group is suiting me. Definitely, the blood group of the growing child need not be of the blood group of the mother. It may be different also. So the blood carries the food, and the food, if it has to enter, crossing the blood barrier, the uterine barrier. Uterus is the barrier between the mother's blood and the fetal blood. Fetal blood is different. It goes to the placenta, to the umbilicus, and the mother's blood is totally separated. Never think that mother's blood is carried on to the fetal blood. Mother should take more food, nutritious food, so that the food can be transferred to the child. Because the two groups are different, when they mingle, both will die. So this part must be clear. Then, how come a growing child, as it reaches the 4th or 5th month, mother gets the glory, a little bit of fattiness, a plump nature, and a polished face, and a bright and bright atmosphere inside. of her, of her, of her mind. So that mental tranquility, mental comfort, mental blissfulness, that is the, where is the source for that? It is from the child, the growing child. The growing child absorbs from all nature except mother. It has no food, no air, no water, no light, nothing, but absorbs the cosmotic, lively, original, creative energy, absorbs into it. That is the reason why mother is flourishing. Even after the morning sickness, second month, third month, fourth month, after that they grow like a lushful atmosphere and environment. The more she bears the child, first child, second child, third child, fourth child, fifth child, sixth child, the more and more of cosmic energy is building up in her. Even if they bear 12 children, they will not get the tiredness. They will not get weary. They will be even more energetic after each childbirth. That is the creative nature. That is the original creation by God. Those who bear only one child or two children, that's all. Their nature will be very weak. They fall to various illness and repeated illness for the same, and their life will be so much worse than those people who have born three children at least, or four children. They are more energetic. They have the cosmic power. The women has the ability to receive the cosmic fire, cosmic energy, and that health status is entirely different from that of the children, the mothers who bore only one or two children. And they abort a child, and their nature is even falling down. Their capacity for survival is even going down. So when they abort a child or when they refuse to bear a child, what they suffer is worse. They will have the back pain, they will have the leg pain, they will have the hip pain, and they will have the thyroid problem and the cancers, cervical cancer, breast cancers, everything develop. So note the point here, abortion is easy, but thereafter the complacency, the dangers, uninformed dangers or unknown dangers even to the doctors is formidable. Absolutely, it is not possible for us to bear or counter or remove or alleviate the pains and weakness of it. So the complacency, the attached dangers are more worse if we don't apply our mind to the causative factors which I have been describing to you now. So never abort a child, never postpone a child, never say no to a child. You are rejecting the offer of God that He wants to give the women the cosmic power. The very fact that I want the next child, I don't want to postpone the child, I don't want to abort the child, is sufficient that God is giving them the capacity to bear any burden that they may be loaded upon by the society or by the family or because of the workload. Everything is so easy to do away with it, with them all, and they will be maintaining their fundamental energy, that cosmic energy in them. A man doesn't have so much power as a woman has while she's bearing a child. That is the gift, the benevolence, and the mercy of God upon the women. Chapter 10:31. Who provides you from the heaven and from the earth, not only food, the cosmic energy. So the more I am imbibing, I need the cosmic energy in me. I go beyond my knowledge. I get into the mode of understanding things by seeing and observing the natural part of it, the natural vibrancy of every single instance and events occurring before me, the soothing effect and the vibrant effect both are contradictory. The soothing effect is different, the vibrant effect is entirely different. That shakes up my energy from a soothing effect to a turbulent effect, a chaotic effect. So we should not feel the vibrations of the environment, but we should feel the soothing nature of the environment. That should be a comfort to my mind, comfort to my heart, comfort to my body, and there is a comfortable level of thinking beyond where the boundaries to whichever distance my eyesight could reach, go beyond that to believe. Be a believer. Go beyond my earshot and be concerned about being cognizant of what is happening beyond my reachability. That is what God is giving you a power over everything beyond the limits to each and every human being if only they go beyond their knowledge. Their knowledge is to whatever extent their eyes and ears could reach, to whatever extent materially they could feel. But your life for a human being is mostly based on the mind of the person. Your mind is most important. And mind you, God is speaking to you all the while. When I am speaking to you without a preparation, it is God's information, intimation, God's intuition, and God's inspiration, and God's feel I am trying to translate into a language easily communicable, a colloquial, a practical language, a conversational language, a material language which is wordy and prosaic level. It is academic level in its superiority over the grammatical with the grammatical application. All those things are making one to understand your communication very difficult. If you say something to me, it may mean something to me. The same thing may mean something to others. You may be a friend to me, and somebody else is a stranger sitting by me. You speak to me in your voice, which has got a friendly nature. Even if you call me oh idiot, I will take it as a friendly exchange of the nice words. But the other person is stranger, he will find it so hard. If you are speaking in a conversational language, it will be fitting to everyone. If only you maintain your tone, if only you maintain your understanding ability concerning what you are speaking, what you speak is better understandable by another person if only you have experienced it by yourself before. Without experiencing what you are speaking is different. Without experiencing what you want to communicate will be an utter confusion. If you want to be plain and if you want your actions forthcoming, definitely if it should bear the benefit of your exercise, you must have understood what you are speaking must be lived up by you. You must have experienced the first place before you are communicating, expressing to others. So these are all the feeding from the external sources by the Almighty. Without that, what we are engaging in various activities is faulty, fruitless, and it doesn't bear fruits to us. And all our vainglorious nature will place us in a destination that is miserable, despicable, unwelcome to our own instincts. We do not tread on those lines, but on the straight path. So easy to communicate if you have experienced in your life, lived through in your life with correction and moderation and a combination of improvement in my understanding and experiencing level in my daily life, it is so easy to communicate what is difficult, what is philosophical, spiritual, what is unattainable by the physical instincts and physical expression. It is possible so beautifully by a feel like expressions. So you have to be very conversational. You have to be very practical. At the same time, you must be able to convey what is unseen to the heart of the person, not to the brain of a person. If I am speaking wordly, word-wise, with a knowledge that the word knows, with an experience what we practically involve in, then that knowledge is not at all going to suit your heart. But you express your heart, you're able to express your heart to other people, then it is of comfort to them, and their intelligence is now sharpened, and then their understanding ability is based on their observation capacity, the listening capacity. While they are listening and observing, there is a change happening in them so that they experience the change in an abstract way, not in a visible way. I'm able to feel, I'm able to sense certain things, which is more beautiful than what I practically experience by seeing with an outward skill applied without a brain level applied knowledge. A mind level applied knowledge will take you to a higher level. What we are communicating now is the mind level application and a mind level exponentiality that gives you better understanding. So Allah asks you who provides you from the heavens and the earth. To the growing fetus inside, who provides you? You are not providing. You are not providing your child, but Allah provides because no food, no water, no drink, no defecation, no urination, no sweating, and no thirst, no appetite. Who is feeding the child to grow into a perfectly full bloom and blown up in uh, in its uh, field, in its creation to the maturity, and then who delivers it. And it is not only the uterus is contracting, even the child is pushing its way through. That is the intelligence and intuition God gives it to come out. Until such time, it won't. As long as it is growing, it is not causing pain. The moment it begins to come out, the pain starts, and the uterine wall is coming to the aid of the child, which wants to come out. That is the first and foremost intelligence Allah gives the child. In the womb, it begins to move out. It is time to get ready for the departure from the home level world to the external world. So when it's preparing to come and moving with its head down, it is preparing to swim in the water and to open up the birth canal and to come out. Now the whole uterus comes into activity to aid the feel of the kid, the child, which wants to get out of the womb. So it is not that the mother is pushing, the child must be pushing its way through. That is normal delivery, and that is beautiful and comfortable and a nice feeling of being the delivery of the baby through the birth canal without pain. Seek from Allah to feed the child with the food unseen. No food, no air, no water, unseen food. No darkness, full of darkness, no light, unseen. No environment around, unseen. God is creating the child. You must know God creates you from nothingness. Even after the birth, I must feel that God creates me from nothingness. Whatever you want inside of your heart, which is unknown to you, God says, have a new birth. Have a new birth every moment. Breathe a new life every moment. And live in the manner I want to make you live. Without the aid of anything from heaven to earth, I want to create you in an original form, in the way you were created and brought to the fully grown baby inside the uterus and how it teaches the child to come out with its rolling and head down position and slowly pushing without causing any pain to the mother who have born the child, born them just before the delivery, all through the 10 months. So, a pregnancy must be so beautiful. In the same way, the delivery must be even more beautiful. That is how you will be seeking from God. Both the deliverer of the delivery, both the most beautiful of all sustainers, both the most convenient one who gives me the utmost easiness and comfort to me. Oh, the bearer of my child, I leave everything in your trust and let me not take what is in my womb into my ability, in my capacity, that I have to take care of the child from the birth, and even before birth, I am taking care of my child. All these inadequacies, which will not be welcomed by God, we should not entertain in our mind. I am not bearing the child, I am not conceived, and you must understand if you are married, your union, male and female union, is not giving birth to the child. Every month you are conceiving, and within 1 or 2 hours it is aborted, and you feel like it is a normal menstruation. You are not conceived. From the time you are you are married, from the time of your first consummation, every month you are conceiving, every month within 1 or 2 days you are aborting, and you find it as a normal delivery, even a normal menstrual period. No. Only when it is stopped for 30 days or 35 days or 40 days, you think that after which, when it's aborted, you call it abortion. But every month abortion is taking place, you consider it normal menstruation. You are not conceived yet. So all those people who have been normally menstruating even after the marriage should not think that the the uh, the, the conception has not taken place. It took place, and thereafter you aborted. In a momentary second, you abort the child, or 1 or 2 days you abort the child, and it feels like a normal period. And further, because that you are uniting, the child is not born. If that is so, so many people are without child. They have normal sperm count, normal egg production on the 13th to 17th day after menstruation, but still they are not conceiving. And whom you think that they are sterile, there's no sperm or no ovum, both are sterile, they don't have the conception. Normal people don't have conception. What do you mean? Unless by the leave of God, you are not going to have a child. So wait with Allah, wait in patience. He knows the timing when to make you conceive the child, and from nothingness, He doesn't need your sperm nor ovum. He knows how to conceive you. So put your trust in Allah. Allah gives you the trust. You must conceive a child. You must conceive a generation which will last lifelong, with self-sustenance, and whom God will guide. And so there is no suffering for them, and they'll live by the truth, and they will be expounding the nature of godliness to the people by their own self example, and they are the best examples before the people, testifying to the word of God, and that He is the only one who will take you from your birth to the death, who will guide you from your birth to the death in the most pleasant and beautiful way, with tranquility in your mind and the niceties about your heart, and beautiful appreciation of your five special senses that perceives only good and dispels whatever that is bad. So put your trust in God so that He bears your child and He allows you to keep that child in your womb without any disturbance, any affliction, any bearing down feeling, or there is no question of any distress afflicting you, and you will be comfortable, more agile, and more energetic all through mentally and physically until the time you give birth to the child. And after that, the child doesn't need you, and God brings the milk for the child, and it takes it to its hearty comfort, and you will be also satisfied that your child has taken to your full stomach, but no disease will afflict us. The more you fear God should rear your child, the more you are truthful that you have put hold of your responsibility about your child and yourself and your family in the uh, guidance of God under His ability to take your life all through as long as you are living in this world. So be humble before Him, fear Him alone. Don't take the responsibility of the worldly life on you, but put your trust in Him. He knows how to rear you up. From the moment you are born here till your progenies and all the descendants of your family come up, you will be living with such grace and with such splendor and the benevolence from Him. He will be always be under His mercy, and there is no question of any hardship that will touch you in this world. Full of comfort, even from this moment, I believe in God that I am not to live on my own except by my God's will. Even now, if I am living, although I have so many sufferings because of the diseases that I have contracted in this world, now I am putting everything in His capacity, in His trust, that I will not be feeling as miserable as I have lived through until this moment. Put your trust in Him. Don't leave me in my responsibility, oh God. Take me into your responsibility. I have no ability, and whatever I have in my mind has knowledge that I can pull along. All the while I have been living in this world, now I have no more such feel. I have put my trust in you, and you are the best of trustees. This is a moment when we are not going to find any of our miseries that will be trailing behind us, that will not be trailing behind us, and they will not follow my footsteps because I have raised myself to a level of godliness and I put my trust in Him. I don't leave any trace for the evil to follow me, and I am inclining towards the godliness, not the worldly level of sustenance. Now Allah asks you, read chapter 10:31. Who provides you your sustenance from the heavens and from the earth? And who has the ability over your listening and your sight? Who has the controls of hearing and the sight? Do you understand what Allah is saying to you? Your vision, whatever you see, they are all created events and eventualities that you have created for you in the past. Whatever evil, whatever crime, whatever sins, whatever misbehavior you have conducted you upon. That is the reason the sequences that happen, the eventualities happening, consequences that's happening, and at the same time, while you are watching the turmoil outside in the vicinity, in your vicinity, and all those things are surrounding you. The vicissitudes of your nature, its ever-changing transformation of your nature around, affecting you, giving you some comfort also by the leave of Allah. All those things should never happen in the days to come. seek peace all the time, that is going to nourish you. Peace is not available around you. Peace is beyond your ability to even to see where to acquire it. It is absolutely out of sight, but it is very near. If only you feel Allah in you and everything is with Him, all nature, all worlds, from the eternity to eternity, from the past eternal status to the future eternity, from the past infinity to the future infinity, everything is with Allah. Allah filters all the evil and makes you breathe the softness of air, the aroma of air, the flora of the beauty of the nature that He wants you to feel by His leave. You will be admiring while appreciating the greatness of Allah, belittling yourself before Him, and your demeanor may not strike another person because of your self conceitedness. That is very despicable in the eyes of Allah, and a deplorable situation will soon develop. We will only await that situation. Our despicable situation, an obnoxious position we may acquire in this world, should be thwarted from this moment. Be humble before the people. Look into the heart. What Allah speaks to you by way of a feel, and it is not pertaining to any language. We are transforming, transmutating what Allah has given to me as an expressive feel, explicit in nature. That feel says, have a very, very, very comfortable, far reaching life, and with farsightedness, without cloudiness of mind, see through what is invisible to you and penetrate everything that is happening before you with permeation into each and every structure of your penetration so that you will be understanding what you need from Him. Listen to Allah's word of belief, word of feel, and that gives an expression that you will not be finding in your life all time to come with all your intelligence and ability and with whatever you acquired as knowledge. It is taking you to a drowning situation in the turmoil of your living standards. The turbulence caused by the people in the atmosphere, the vibrations, is not going to make you breathe comfortably. And there is not a life that is comforting to you, beautiful to you, appreciable to you, provided you leave yourself in the fold of Allah, in the hands of Allah, the best of all trustees. So He has the control over the ears. He has the control over the sight. He will remove all the bad elements from the hearing and the sight, and He will exchange it for a beautiful tomorrow and a profitable future. That is the world you want to live in. Beauty is unseen, profit is unseen, which I gain as a nature, my comfortable nature. I will not be worried about anything. I will not be fearing anything that is surrounding me inside or outside of me as a disease and as a turmoil, as a turbulence in my surroundings. And I will see only the good things out of it, and I believe only that. And Allah gives you that relief and belief because of the belief. And He increases in you in your belief by your moments of His breathing. So breathe His words. Just don't breathe the air. Air is not your life. If some grief strikes you, suddenly you are panting. Just before a grief smites you, you are comfortably, a little bit comfortably, you are breathing. The moment something drastic and something grievous strikes you, something of a grievous nature, yeah, news comes to you, immediately my breathing is panting, my heart is beating because there's no breathing. There's no word of Allah. There's no belief that the good words from Allah that should expand your heart to easily breathe in and absorb the good from the atmosphere, the good nature, easily life from the atmosphere and leave out the hard nature of your life. It's not the oxygen, carbon dioxide, and the other elements of the nature that is surviving you. It is the feel of God's expression, God's mercy on you, God's message to you. When you listen to the communication of God, they feel the Wahi part of it. Then my heart is expanding, imbibing the new energy which the world has not experienced, which I have not experienced all through my life. That comfortable breathing, a breathing of relief, you cannot gain it through any of your breathing exercises. You can stop the breathing. You can stuff your chest with a lot of air, and you will be painfully holding the air. And then, with a rush and hush, you will release the air. That is your breathing exercises. That God-given exercise is that exercise my power in you by believing in me, by listening to me, which is unseen and which is unheard of before, which is unfelt, which is unsmelt, and it has not been tasted by you before. And barring the five senses, which is used to the practical, the the, the nature is preserving as of now, which is there around you in a corrupted atmosphere. You are feeling the heavy breathing. You are inhaling the heavy nature of that air, full of confusion and chaos and the turbulence and the voices that is sinful. And whatever you see is only the sins, whatever you hear that are sinful. Committedly, they are burdened with the nasty things. But you feel that you are all round very active and you are imbibing everything from the nature. That's all your burden to your heart. All of them are a burden to your heart. Listen to one single voice, the inner voice, not the noises of the people around. Then you feel the sigh of relief. Never in your life you can have so much of breathing, expanding your chest to the fullest extent, but it doesn't pain you. And you don't have to feel the breathing for long. You don't have to hold the breathing for long. Instantly, all those inside your blood and inside your nature is pushed into the lungs to be expelled out. The evil nature, the heart breathing, and the corrupted elements, a field of my nature is thrown out, and again a fresh breathing is imbibed. All my worry is gone, all my grief is over, and everything I have is such a beautiful lightness in my chest. All my air spaces are filled up with a very sweet nature of the universal life energy, totally filtering all the confusion and chaos and the breathing, the hard breathing of the people. Nothing is entering, everything is filtered. That light air expands my chest like anything. That's the fresh start of my life in this world. With ability to understand better what God speaks to me as I feel. That is the way we will be living in this earth. And that is the time from the death to the life, new life is beginning. The next line speaks of that. And who has the ability that brings the living from the dead and the dead from the living? The more I am oriented towards the external sources, the visible sources, the palpable and tactile atmosphere around me, all that is created around me, the more I am glued to that, the worse I will be in my afflictions and in my affections. There's no effective way for me to come out of that burdened heart. Always there's a feeling of something that is very much bothering me. That botheration puts me down. I don't want to live even. And I am vexed with the life. Leave alone, I don't want to live. I am vexed with the life. Still you have to struggle until that time God has described you that the end point of your life. So until such time, we have to live with either honor or live with dishonor. If only you have the honesty to be faithful to God and be subjugated to His words, becoming humble before the people and merciful before the people, pardoning the people and not being in angriness forever. And you will be in your comfort of peace and perseverance in peace. And never at any cost I will be depriving myself of the peace and immersed in the depravity. With, by way of keeping up my honor in the light of Allah, I believe in the unseen, what is beyond my sight and what is beyond my ears. And what is within the field of within the field, the comfort I am receiving from the atmosphere. I want even further softness to my skin. I even further softness to the air that I am breathing so that it fills up my chest. The more I believe in Him, the softer is my ability to absorb the entire cosmic, natural, original, creative force in me. So I have to come around alive from my death trap. And when God is giving me the life, I should not slip into the abysmal depths of the discomfort of my hell of your life here in this world. So it is He who brings the living from the dead, and it is who brings the death from the living. We are deadly living people. We are dead, living dead people. We must now be born again with beautiful, hearty, welcome nature that we transform our hearts towards acquiring the bliss of God's expression and revelation to me. That is the life I want from this moment onwards. Have a nice gathering of the field. You believe in that beautiful field which you have never experienced practically, which you can never believe that it is practically possible. What is impossible, but how do you feel it is so beautiful in your heart? How do you begin to think it will be very great if only I get this life, but I cannot believe. Without believing, who makes you say that it is a beautiful field? It's a beautiful world if only it happens. Who says this to you? Without seeing and hearing and going through a transformation through all with the help of all your uh, five senses, how is it possible to expect and believe and revere in your heart that I want? But it is good to imagine, but hard to believe. Because you believe in you don't believe in God. You become God yourself because you are enjoying certain physical benefits of the temporary world. Temporary world, not in the sense that from the life to the death to the temporary world. Every moment of appreciation and joyfulness and enjoyment and exhilaration you are enjoying, this world is very temporary. That world is temporary. Even your hardship, your sadness, your sorrowfulness, your anxiety, everything is in a short period will go away. That is how Allah describes everything in this world is temporary. In the temporary world, like interchanging, exchanging, or one following the other's this benefit comes to me, my benefit goes to other, all changing circumstances. With all these vicissitudes, everything is changeable between amongst you. Come out of that world. Don't be enjoying your status here because it is forthcoming to you in your efforts. Very short one. It will stay with you. Soon it will disappear. And don't be so much burdened in the heart because an evil fortune is surrounding you. It is there for a short period. Allah will change it for the better. Whether you like it or not, you will be embracing a beautiful life given to you by God. And before that, you'll be given utmost peace to the heart. When I'm surviving with exhilaration and exaltation, and there is, without your knowledge, Allah gives you some discomfort and some worry and some fear about your future. That is true. And what is going to come, going to affect you in the near future, is given to you as a field by God by way of your the warning or an admonition. You are exhilarating today. The admonition comes to you Whether you feel it or not, receive it or not, the time is shortening, and whatever God has admonished you, and without your feel that you're enjoying limitlessly, suddenly you will see a disaster falling upon you. You will not find a way to run out of that discomfort and distress that has come upon you, and you will have to fall a prey to it. You may not die, but you live a longer period until the time prescribed for you, that the final hour is that. Until you reach the final hour, you'll be suffering to your worst. So be a believer today and believe in what God has given to you. And He is setting right your affairs from scratch to the finish, from the start to the finish. So Allah disposes all your affairs. Is it you who disposes all your affairs? Is it He who is bringing you from the living exhilaration to the dismal depths of sorrowfulness, and who elevates you from your anxiety and apprehension to a blissful paradisical life in this world? And who has the capacity to imbibe you with the goodness from Him through your ears and eyes, who is giving you the ability to believe by giving you the penetration into certain things, that beautiful things are there, good things are there, the nourishing things are there, destruction is not there, the ability to survive is possible from that ability to see through every object around me, see through every difficult situation around me, and I'm getting a cue out of the difficult nature. So everything bad is filtered, and all the nurturing good elements are absorbed into me. And I have a greater confidence, a hope, and I may fail to remember it is God given energy, God given blessing that I'm able to imbibe the righteous path of it. If I abide by it, I'm going to have a very, very fruitful life, beneficial life. That is come from the most beneficent, but we fail to understand Him. That's where we become ungrateful to Him. Again, our life, after a brief period of splendor, it falls into dismal depth. So we will not either be drowned or we feel exhilarated, but always have the piety and fear for God. Fear for God, guard yourself from the joyfulness of this world, knowing that it is temporary. Fear Allah all the time for a permanent life of blissful nature in this world and in the hereafter. That is chapter 1031. You have any questions in this now?
Salam, Doctor.
Salam.
Doctor, what about the stillborn child? It's fully formed, grown for 9 months, but then last this.
You didn't. You never gave a thought to Allah that He is the one who is going to deliver. He is the one who is going to bring forth my baby, and we have not been praying to Allah. And on that account, even if the child is born, it may not be useful to you. It may not be useful to society. You want to get rid of it. And you don't know, God knows. Because He will not destroy a child He has created because of your inattentiveness and ingratitude towards God. And because you fail to put your responsibility and trust, reliance on God concerning the child, maybe it is going to go through a hell of a lot of problems in this world, creating a problem to you and to your society. And we have seen so many children, now grown-up children, are a burden to us. Definitely, they are a burden to us. You know, this is how Allah is giving you all the benefits. Allah is giving you all the benefits of this world. And Allah is there. He is not going to make you suffer at all in all the time you are living in this world. So, believe in Allah and believe in your ability to grant you by the belief of Allah, because I believe in Him alone, and none but Him. Allah is ever be watchful of you. Allah is ever appreciative of your gratefulness to Him. Show your gratitude and never become great, so that your progeny will be good. You have dozens of children to your comfort, still you will not lose out anything on this in this worldly material life. And furthermore, you are the beneficiary of the God's benevolence all through your life and your progeny and to the families. So you understood why there is stillbirth, why the child is born dead.
Mm. Okay.
I have not seen children, grown up children, 20 years, 25 years, gone mad, being a burden to you and the society. You will dearly feel why I should have given birth to this child. There are people, some they Allah has made them live to see before your eyes how you have brought up the child, and to some to whom Allah has given His forgiveness and He removes the child inside the uterus itself, or the stillborn. And Allah will provide you a better one, the best one, if only you are a believer.
And what about the cesarean, doctor? A lot of times they say there's a problem in the child
Cesarean is
cannot
what
come
you
out.
believe. Cesarean is what you believe. What you have in your mind, I will go to the cesarean, I will comfortably have a child. Allah says, okay, I am not interfering with you. And after that, whatever you are going to suffer, whatever child is going to suffer, it is all your fault, not mine. The child must prepare itself, head down position, slowly go through the passage of the child, the birth canal, and it must come out. So much of intelligence and so much of wisdom the child must have to come out of it. Prepare itself. It's not the uterus is preparing, it's the child is preparing.
No, doctor, but sometimes the lady or the woman, the physical structure is such that passage is so small or so narrow, not able to come out. That the right child is not, there is
You,
no
you know
enough,
better or God knows better.
no, because God
Who
knows.
are these people? Who are these people to say that birth canal is not working? It's crooked. Who are these people to say that? Why do you believe in the nuisance and nonsense of doctors? When Allah says you have conceived, it is my duty to bring it out. Whose duty is that? We have been talking for 1 hour the the capacity and the ability, the power of Allah alone. How sure you are about the future? Tell me. You believe it in your knowledge or believe in the word of Allah?
Allah.
But when you go to cesarean, you believe in your knowledge, right? No problem. You can seek forgiveness and go for the cesarean or whatever. But you should not have your slightest thought that I have delivered my baby. You are not delivered. You have cut open your uterus and taken it out. And the future misfortunes are there awaiting you if only you seek forgiveness for what for the mistakes or for the wrongdoing you have committed on you. On the other hand, if you elevate yourself so beautiful is my is the way I have delivered my baby because of the improvement in my medical knowledge. They've got so much of facilities here. So the giving birth to a baby becomes so easy. But you will not have the health and the energy of giving birth to a child through a natural birth. You will not gain that. The total uterus energy is thrown out. Totally it is gone away. And they will say after the first cesarean, you'll have to deliver your second baby also by cesarean. Otherwise, it will burst. The uterus will burst. That's what they say, no?
No, doctor, sometimes it's happened that the lady has had a cesarean, but the second child is got a natural birth. So such
But what this
cases have
but
happened.
what the medical practice say?
I'm not sure about that.
So understand from me, know from me. They say they will
Mm.
terrorize the second the mother having the second child after first cesarean. You must come for the cesarean. There's no way you can give birth to the baby because the sutured part of the uterus will give open
Mm.
and he will die and the child will die. But you have seen unseen number of mothers giving birth to the second child. After the first cesarean, they are head and party, right?
Yeah.
Now, one instance is not sufficient for us that this medical knowledge is filthy. Will you still consider that these people are saying that uterus canal is like that, birth canal is like this, and they will not deliver a normal baby? You leave it to Allah. All right? Allah knows. Allah makes things easy. Nothing is difficult for Allah. I still believe that Allah doesn't know the doctors what they say is to be better conceived and abided by.
Allah knows better.
So for having asked this question, we seek forgiveness from Allah. That's always better. Any question?
Thank you, Doctor.
Salam, Doctor.
Salam.
Doctor, I have a small question. What is the purpose of this umbilical cord, Doctor? Because if there is no input...
Giving nutrition, giving the blood flow, not nutrition, blood flow to the child to make the heart keep beating and keep it ready for the living, and the circulation keeping it ready for the living. No breathing inside, only blood circulation is going on. No digestion inside, only circulation is going on. The moment it comes out, it has to be alive and alive to the point of the moment that the child's head is born, it must speed up its circulation to keep the child alive. So it's only for circulation. It is coming from the wall of the uterus. The wall of the uterus. From its muzzle, the umbilical cord develops, through which the blood is supplied. Like we give supply to the intravenous perfusion of blood, right?
Okay, that is it is not from the mother, it is from the uterus. That is that the cover.
Yes, it is from the cover, from the world, the child's world. It is entirely different from mother. Mother's got no bearing over the uterus.
Okay. Thank you, Doctor.
So only when you give certain medicine, which is a spoiler of liver, when the liver is spoiled, when the liver is weakened because of the medicines, that the moment the muscles are relaxing, the liver is weak. The moment the liver is becoming weak and sluggish, the muscles are relaxed. The uterus muscles also relaxed. Now, the energy, not the blood, the energy of the mother is now entering the uterus, giving the evil energy that the child is going inside. No, that is the evil energy. In this way, mother's diseases will come to the child.
Okay, Doctor. Okay.
Any medicine will transfer mother's diseases to the child, physically and mentally. If the mother is little bit mentally disturbed, mentally not good, sound, the growing child will be mentally sound and unsound.
But doctor, what blood is circulating? You said the umbilical cord and it is helping the blood circulate. What blood is circulating? How did the blood come there?
A human blood. Allah is preparing a human form, a human blood, most applicable to the child alone, and that group and nature is different to that of any other person in the world.
So it will be the mother's blood only, no, which will go and
mother's blood is O positive, child's blood is A positive. Mother's child and the fetal child, the mother's blood and the fetal blood is not the same all the time.
So you mean new blood is also?
New blood is formed, new cells are formed, new baby is formed, new nature is formed. The physical formation is so new for 10 months. That alone will be coming from mother. Blood is formed newly
Amazing.
from the uterine wall to the umbilical cord.
Mm.
It is sticking to the uterine wall. The moment the conception is taking place, this is the uterus, the conception is taking place with ovum and the sperm, it is stuck like a leech,
Mm. Mm.
the wall of the uterus. As the blood is forming, it is hanging down slowly and the water is formed around. And slowly it is hanging down and the amniotic fluid, the water bag is now filling up and the blood is now flowing from the uterus through the umbilical cord to the blood to the child, growing child.
Mm.
Any question? Forget about all these things. I was a bit worried when I am giving so much of explanation. Forget about this nonsense. Bring up with your bring up your habits with the things that I had told you of the unseen nature of chapter 10:31.
Thank you, doctor.
All the medical subject I talk to you is nonsense. Leave it.
It's an amazing creation. It's a miracle. So,
If you do it, it's a miracle. When God does it, it's not a miracle. It is His power.
mm.
Don't say all God's things are miracle. If only you do it, think when God makes you to do by His sign to do certain things impossible to others, you call it a miracle because you think that you did. If only you understand that Allah made me a tool to do this, then you will place all glory be to Him. He is the most exalted. He is the most powerful. He has everything over everything. So whatever Allah does, don't say it's a miracle. Feel the power. The Christians will say it's a miracle because they do not know who God is, who they are. They say the God came, Jesus came from Yahweh in human form, right?
Yes,
Lord
doctor.
Jesus came in the human form, whereas Allah says man is created in godly form. His power will be our power. His nature of kindness, we have to imbibe and show kindness. His nature of forgiveness, we have to imbibe and then be living in the nature of forgiving people. And God will not get angry, and we will not get angry. God will be giving you peace. We give you peace to others. So God has created the human being in His nature, but Christianity says God came in human nature. He is a spoiled one. When every human being is a lofty one, a graced one with blessings of God in His nature, He has created us. We find the difference between the Christianity and Islam. Do you find a difference?
Yes, doctor.
That is Quran. You are created in God's nature. The Bible, God came in your nature. How demeaning it is to God. And in what is splendorous nature, a human is created in the form of, in the nature of Allah, the God. Any other question? Shalom to all of you.
Salam,
Salam,
doctor.
doctor.
Salam, doctor.
Salam, doctor.
Salam, doctor.
Salam, doctor.
Salam, doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
Salam, doctor.
Thank you, doctor.
Assalamu alaikum, doctor. Salam.
Salam. Rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Salam, doctor.
Salam to all of you.
Salam, doctor.
Salam to all of you.
so hungry.